Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl Mahoney and I'm the author of The Guardian of the Opera trilogy, a retelling of the Phantom of the Opera. So today I thought I'd do a video addressing a key question in the Phantom world. What is the Phantom's name? That might seem like it should be simple, and for most characters it would be, but the Phantom is, after all, a man of many masks and disguises and deceptions, so perhaps it's appropriate that this very basic piece of identity is actually a little bit complicated for him. It's also a question worth asking because, well, I don't want to be a gatekeeper for fandoms, truly. I think if you like something, you can call yourself a fan. But I think we also all know that in certain fandoms, there are certain things that it's like there's a passcode and that's how we recognize each other. If you have an opinion on whether Han shot first, we know that you're a Star Wars fan. If you have an opinion on whether Kirk is better than Picard, or Picard is better than Kirk, we know what fandom you like. And in Phantom circles, if you can call the Phantom by name, we know you're a fan. So, the short answer takes us back to Gaston Leroux. The Phantom's first name is Erik, that's E-R-I-K, never with a C, except in a very odd version, Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge, that one was with a C. I'm not going to pretend to understand what that's about. I have not seen that one. So, never with a C. We'll just leave it there. Erik with a K. Some people take this very seriously. However, even in Leroux, it's acknowledged as a little bit complicated because that is not a French name particularly. And Leroux acknowledges, in fact, that it is not a French name. The Persian asks the Phantom about that, and the Phantom tells him that he got his name by accident. Some versions, or some interpretations of that rather, are that he somehow picked up the name later in life, and that may not be the name he was born with. However, if he was born with a different name, Leroux never says it. And I think I've always interpreted it as that is the name he was given at birth. It may just be a little bit strange of how his parents, or parent, often his father is already dead, came to name him that. So that's Leroux. Leroux did not give us a last name. So there's also that. There is no authoritative original last name. We go through later versions. It's all very simple in Lon Chaney. His name is Erik. They tell us that in either subtitles or in, silent movies. They do a little bridge thing of, and then this happened. So we know how it's spelled, Erik with a K, easy. We come to the Claude Rains version. It all sounds fine. The first time I watched this, I thought his name was Erik with a K. Erik Claudin, in fact. They gave him a last name. So I got to the end and they put the actors and, next to their characters at the end of the movie, and all of a sudden, it's Erik, E-R-I-Q-U-E, which I've never seen anywhere else. So that was a choice. I guess they wanted to make it look more French. I don't know. You see, it's starting to get complicated already. Many other later versions can give him a completely different name. The Herbert Lom version, the Phantom of the Paradise version, Masquerade by Terry Pratchett, completely different names, but they're looser, so it kind of makes sense. Although, in a different story, you're not going to give Jane Eyre a different name, even if it's a loose interpretation. So again, the Phantom is a little bit funny that way. We come to Andrew Lloyd Webber, no name at all. And I think this is one reason it's both the passcode and a perennial question, because a lot of people just see the Webber film, play or film. There is a movie and there is a DVD filmed of the live play, 25th anniversary, and that's fine. It's a great version. If this is what you know, great. But it also means that you may not have learned the Phantom's name. So Webber just left it out. I don't know why, but he did. In Love Never Dies, the Phantom is calling himself Mr. Y, as in the letter Y. I don't know. I don't know. Susan K. Let's talk about Susan K. instead. So Susan K. actually gives him the name Erik. She gives an explanation for it because her whole concept is it's the Phantom's life from birth to death. This is where I'm picking up the idea that the Phantom's father was dead before he was born. That's in Susan K. And the idea here is that his mother was going to name him after his father. But then when he was born and there was the facial deformity and everything, she could not handle it. She also couldn't handle the idea of naming this deformed child after her beloved deceased husband. And the relationship between the Phantom and his mother does not really get better after that, just so you know. So in the moment, the priest is there saying, we better baptize him. I don't know if he's even going to live. I mean, this is all, I don't know. And so she says, well, I don't know what to name him. Name him after yourself. And the priest happens to be named Eric, with a K. And that's how he picked up that name. Susan K does not give him a last name. She is honestly the only one besides Leroux that I personally might have considered authoritative because her book's just that good. So there is no official last name. He's picked up different last names in different versions. No one has settled on something specific that seems to have emerged as a consistent version or choice. So in my version, my retelling, he is of course Eric with a K. Did not try to explain where that name came from, although Meg notices that it's not very French. I don't give his birth last name. There is a point in book 2, in fact, where he starts needing to have a last name. So he uses Rouen. I probably pronounced it wrong. I don't speak French, but it's a region in France which he was born near, and that's in Leroux. It's in Susan K as well. And so he mentions that fact and that he's going to use that as his last name because he does not want to use the name he was born with. I never say what it is because we don't know what it is. I do something a bit interesting with his first name, actually. I don't know how many readers will even notice it, although now I guess you will since I'm telling you. I actually don't say the Phantom's name for the entire first half of the book, more or less, of book 1. He's in it. He has quite a lot of narration, but where it's his point of view, but I avoid using his name until Meg learns it. I wanted the reader to learn it when Meg learns it. He actually writes a letter to Christine and signs his name at the bottom, and he's reflecting on how names have great power in a lot of mythology. That comes up in fairy tales a lot. And gives the letter to Christine, who then shows it to Meg, and it's when Meg reads it that the reader learns it. And then we use his name going forward. I also sometimes am quite intentional about whether I'm calling him the Phantom or calling him Eric. It's to do with what kind of mode he's in that moment. The Phantom is darker, the Phantom is scarier, and is a more intentional mask. Eric is more real. Eric is who he actually is. And sometimes in the narration, it makes a difference which one I use. So check it out if you read my book. And if someone asks you the Phantom's name, or if you just want to know, the short answer is Eric, always with a K. And beyond that, it all gets complicated. Thank you so much for watching. My book, The Guardian of the Opera, Book 1, Nocturne, will be out June 5th. I hope you'll check it out. And find me at marveloustales.com for more information and for book reviews and writing reflections. Thanks so much.